pyramid is the tomb that the ancient Egyptians built for themselves. Pyramids of Egypt is considered one of the 7 wonders of the ancient world. Most of the great pyramids in Egypt were built during the 3rd dynasty to the 6th kingdom of Egypt. Mystery of the recitation on the pyramid tombstone. The Egyptian pyramids over the 4,000 years of history still encompass a mysterious veil, filled with mystical shades. Among the charms on the tombstone are the most frightening of people: whoever comes to disturb the peace of Pharaoh, the door of death will fall on his head. These myths, like the myths, warned in advance for the next generation greedy to look for priceless treasures in the grave, in the face of the burial of the grave. Strangely enough, a few centuries ago, people who dared go into the pharaoh's tomb, whether they were burglars, adventurers or scientists, surveyors. Finally, the spell is fulfilled, if not killed on the spot, also suffered a strange disease cannot cure and die in the pain of suffering. In November 1922, the famous archaeologist Anglo-Saxon, after 7 years of exploration, discovered and opened the tomb of Tutankhamun pharaoh in the Valley of the Emperor. From there, more than 5,000 artifacts have been excavated, including jewels, jewelry, clothing, weapons, technology, household appliances, etc. The success has shaken the world. On 18th of February, when the excavation was taking place, Lord Carnarvon, who had invested a lot of money in helping Cat to do the work, went into the crypt and became seriously ill, then died. His sister, in retrospect, wrote, before his death, he had a high fever and kept shouting, "I heard his breathing, I must go with him." Shortly thereafter, another archaeologist, Muhammad, during the excavation, helped push down the main stone wall on the way to the tomb. He also died of a strange neurological illness. An expert in X-ray photography for the pharaoh mummy, soon became a sacrifice for pharaoh's tombs. He became increasingly ill and died. 2 years after excavating the mausoleum, 22 people in the excavation team mysteriously died, unknown cause. From there the news of Pharaoh's death spreading everywhere. The charm on the tombstone makes people wonder how difficult it is. In 1924, Egyptian astrologer British nationality Oido, brought some curious people into the crypt. What is frightening is that, after visiting, he hangs himself. Before dying, he bit his finger and wrote a letter, saying that his death was caused by the spell of the pharaoh tomb, and that he had regretted it, so he had to go to God. What is even more surprising and misleading is the death of Cairo Museum director, Kamen Maher. Kamen did not believe that the pharaoh's spell could work. He said, "My whole life has been with the mummies and ancient Egyptian tombs. Is not I still alive?" But after less than 4 weeks, he suddenly became ill and died, at the age of 52. Moreover, it was discovered that, on the same day he died, before he died, he led a team of workers packed a lot of valuable artifacts, which were excavated and collected from the mausoleum. Tutankhamun pharaoh. All this made the pharaoh's transmission more mysterious black curtain. At that time, new people suddenly asked, what do the people dealing with the pyramid of Pharaoh Egypt died for? Are pharaoh's spells useful? One view is that, on the walls of the crypts in the crypt, there is a layer of pinkish and grayish-green colors that are likely to produce the light of death. It is said that it releases deadly substances. Some other scientists have pointed out that the ancient Egyptian civilization has reached the level of being able to use insect venom or other poisonous substances as weapons. To protect the tomb of the rulers, avoid being violated by others. In 1956, the geologist Oaxidis, while excavating the tomb of Roxibi, was attacked by batons. In recent years, some scientists have used biology to explain. Yoda Vidal, Ph.D., a professor of medicine at the University of Cairo, in 1963, said, based on the results he periodically conducted experiments with archaeologists and staff, found everyone in the body has a pathogen that can lead to high fever and respiratory infections. Those who entered the crypt, because of this poisoning, will lead to respiratory infections, which eventually lead to death. But why can these virulent pathogens have the vitality and endurance of such a cataclysm? It survived up to 4,000 years in the mummy. Scientists do not understand. In 1983, a French doctor named Fihiro, after years of research, found the cause of death was due to oversensitivity to the harmful bacteria of the excavator and to the tunnel visitors' tomb. According to her research, the conditions of those people are essentially the same, with lung infection, dyspnea that dies. After the ancient Egyptian pharaohs were dead, they were buried under jewels, and there was plenty of vegetables and food. But vegetables and food that, over thousands of years rot, produce poisonous bacteria that the naked eye cannot see. These bacteria cling to the crypt. Regardless of who breathes in those breaths, the lungs will get acute, eventually leading to difficulty breathing and death in distress. Professor Emeritus Instraxpua, who had been excavated in the crypt just excavated to extinguish the inscription, was full of poisonous toxins that were poisoned and died. So far, that explanation is considered the most plausible. But, what is the charm of Pharaoh's tombstone? This requires further study by scientists. Moreover, recent discoveries related to the so-called tower energy. I do not know how bad it is, unpredictable. Other scientists say that the so-called Pharaoh's charms, most likely coming from the pyramid itself. The design of the crypt and the passage in the grave can produce, gather and disperse radiation, magnetic vibrations and energy waves, or form a school. Where is the right, where is wrong, each one an explanation, but to open the secret of the charms, it does not seem simple, at least now.